Hey guys, we're going to start the assembly, and really I'm going to keep this video just to getting the first part um, in Onshape. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to make sure you have your assembly tab here, and if you don't, for some reason, you hit this little plus button to get a new element, and you can create an assembly. Um, so we can talk about other things later, like having multiple assembly files and sub-assemblies and things, but right now let's just focus on bringing in into an assembly the very first part. Okay, so up here I have the insert button, and I'm going to be able to select from my part studios, which I only have the one part studio. Here's all my parts. Which piece I want to bring in as kind of my foundational piece that I'm going to build off of, and so that's going to be the train body. I'm going to select it. Now, something I learned from kind of going through the Onshape's learning modules was that there's a difference between coming over here and left clicking in the graphic window and just clicking the green check mark right away. So clicking this green check right away automatically gets this kind of aligned to the origin for me. Now it's not fixed. That means it's like not grounded. In Veteran we'd call it grounded. So if I click and hold, I can actually move this in space. Okay, had I just left click in the graphic window, I'd be in the same place right here. Okay, so let's figure out how to get it fixed and how to get this kind of the orientation we want. All right, so if I select the part just by clicking on it once, okay, I'm going to bring up this triad. And if the model part is not in the orientation that I want it to be, then I can hover over one of these arrows, okay? I can right click and I can choose align with Z. So in that case, it's going to make that point in the positive Z direction. Or I can say anti-align with Z, and I believe that should put it in the negative Z direction. So it flipped it upside down. It was actually the way I already wanted it, right? So let's go to a different one. Right click and say align with Z. You're going to see how it rotates so that that side is facing up. Okay, well, I want the top of the model, okay, the top of the train, to be facing up in the Z direction. So I'm going to hover over that one again and right click, say align with Z. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. That looks generally like how I want using the Viewcube. Okay, so I wanted you to see how to play around with that. I'm going to hit escape to kind of, or actually just click in the white. So how did I get that? I just simply left clicked on the part once and that brought up that triad. All right, now with that up, I can click and hold on the center. Oh, I think I did something wrong. Okay. And I can move that around and kind of connect it to different parts of my model. And so I don't know if you guys can see, but there's different kind of connectors or maybe centroids of things. And I'm going to basically put this just in general in the middle here. It's kind of in the middle of I think it's pretty much in the middle of that cylindrical part. Okay, and then I'm going to have that be locked onto the origin. Okay, now that I don't have to have it in the middle. I could put it on a corner or somewhere else. You can see that when I click and hold, I can move this around and kind of get it to snap to different things. But I'm just going to go with the middle here. And then what I do is I hover over that, I right click, and I'm going to choose, where is it? Move to origin, at the very top, of course. I'm sitting there looking down lower. All right, move to origin. Okay, now it's not locked to the origin even though I chose that, so I have to come back and right click on the part and then choose fix, and that will fix my model. So if I try to drag it now, kind of left click and hold and drag it, I can't drag it. Now I can still rotate, but you're seeing my view cubes move, right? So it's not that the part's moving, it's just that I'm changing my view in space. Zooming in and out, I can pan, but that's not the part. It's the part is kind of locked onto the origin, etc. Okay, so that is bringing in part number one. Just good foundational kind of principles would be that the first piece you bring in is fixed or grounded and is not movable within your assembly. Okay.